Welcome to the Mousekast podcast. Tonight's show will keep the score as you join us for some madness in March as we crown a champ in a field of four. Tonight, the mind meets the madness. We dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel. If you don't listen, it's a crime. Take on Walt Disney World and the four main theme parks there, and we'll eliminate them head to head to name the best after we compare. Throughout the month this will occur, a different topic every week, and we eliminate them head to head to name the best after we compare. Throughout the month this will occur, a different topic every week. East versus west, the land or world remain, to give you a little sneak peek. Tonight, the mind meets the madness. We dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel. If you don't listen, it's a crime.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to Mousekast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. As you heard from our intro song, we are continuing our Mousekast where the mind meets the madness tournament. Tonight, it's down to the final four. Just like the NCAA tournament, only four remain. And if we're talking about four at Walt Disney World, what better four than the four parks? Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. But before we get to that, let's say a huge welcome to our guest host tonight. Ty the Texan is here. Hey, Ty, thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's going on? Thinking about changing my name to Ty the Jedi.
Ty the Jedi. Okay, there we go. All right, well, there's a few copyright issues to deal with, but you know that's why we have our cadre of lawyers here. And Natalie is with us again. Hey, Natalie, welcome.
Glad to be back.
Glad to have you here. So before we get to our Final Four, though, let's go over a little bit of news. I'll tell you what, there was a lot of Disney news that came out in the last couple of weeks here. First, Disney has announced that in the Magic Kingdom, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin is going to be undergoing some pretty major changes starting in August. And so the attraction is going to be closed. They're going to start with a whole new intro scene with a new character called Buddy that you will use kind of like what Toy Story Mania has with the screen when you're kind of getting practice and everything like that. The big announcement, though, for Buzz Lightyear is that they are going away from the mounted blasters that are mounted to the cars and are going to handheld blasters. If you've been over at Disneyland and have done Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, this is just about the same thing. Now, here's going to be my question for you. We know that they're going to have some different colors, which is going to be pretty cool. So we all know that currently at Buzz Lightyear, the red dot, is it my red dot or your red dot or somebody else's? You have to pick where are you aiming at. They're going to use different colors. So there will be a series of different colors available to try and help delineate, what's your dot versus somebody else's. But then they're also going to be changing the targets around to make it a little bit more obvious that when you hit the target, it's visible. In fact, Disney has released and has put out on some of their social media channels some play testing already with some of those targets. They look really, really cool. There's going to be new ride vehicles with this, with video monitors and score updates. And because it's going to something near akin to Astro Blasters, I suspect, and this is just my supposition, I'll see what you guys all think, I suspect they're going to kind of redo the entire points scoring system. If you know the key targets currently at Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, maxing out and becoming that galactic hero actually is pretty easy. I was over at Walt Disney World last week, and we happened to have a late night, and I walked on Buzz. I maxed out on the left, and I got halfway to maxing out on the right before the ride ended. And that was I probably could have done it if I'd had a little bit more luck in the aiming on the right hand side. So what do you guys all think? Again, it's going to be closing in August. It's going to be down for at least the rest of this year and probably well into a part of 2026. So far, Disney has not announced when it might be open, but they did say it will be closed for the rest of the year and into 2026. So what do you think?
I think it's going to be amazing, but I don't think they're going to make the changes you're thinking to the scoring system.
You don't think they're going to, because Astro Blaster, if you've ridden Astro Blaster, trying to max out on Astro Blaster is like really hard. It's really, really challenging.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they will. I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope they don't, because then I'll suck at it again, and I won't be able to claim fame like Chuck. You know, I mean, let's be honest, Chuck. Like, our own family members have made statements that they can't max out. So, like, it's not.
I'm the only one in my family that can max out, and I don't know why. Because I'm like, you go here, you go here, you go here, you go here. It's easy.
But this is kind of my point. You're stating it's very easy. I think it's also easy because you're the one that controls the cart, don't you? You control the cart.
Okay, yeah, but that, you know, it's funny. You bring up a good point on that, because as I was riding Buzz this last time, I really identified what the challenge is. The challenge is not aiming. The challenge is to controlling that car, because the car is constantly drifting. So it'll be interesting to see if they take care of that, or if they will continue to have the drift going, and because the car is always just kind of slowly rotating one way or another, and that's what presents all the aiming challenges. So,
I guess we have about 18 to 24 months to think about it.
Yeah, we got a little while. So if you are heading down to Walt Disney World between now and August, might want to think about a trip on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin and say goodbye to the current iteration. Some more announcements that have come out. We've got the Summer of Kids at Disney that's coming up this summer. So Disney announced that 2 new live shows will be premiering very soon at Disney's Hollywood Studios. In fact, the opening day is May the 27th. This is over at the current space near Disney Junior for what was, I guess, the Voyage of the Little Mermaid show. And there's going to be 2 shows now there, which I actually love. The first show is going to be Little Mermaid. It's going to be The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure. And the description of it sounds very similar to the show that it would replace. And then the second, though, is Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After. In fact, this is the description Disney posted. Step into the darkly delightful world of Disney Villains Unfairly Ever, where Disney's most infamous baddies take center stage in a show that's as wickedly fun as it is spellbinding. Then dive under the sea with The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, a breathtaking retelling of the beloved animated film featuring fan-favorite songs, stunning visuals, and theatrical magic.
Gotta love some Disney baddies.
Oh, and this is also a space that has been so underutilized in the last couple of years that it's great to see something actually returning to this space.
Yeah, we need something over in that character courtyard over there, other than just the meet and greets, because that right-hand side when you go in is full of people, and then there's just like a wall building with nothing going on to the right. It's very strange looking right now. I'm looking forward to having something in there, and give me more villains. I'm
totally with you. More villains. To be honest, I'm sorry, Ty. I would like to see the whole Star Wars area there. Let that whole Chewbacca and Vader meet and greet go. Turn that into a villains, like a pre-show or pre-something. Almost do like what California Adventure does. Sometimes they used to have the Blue Sky area, and just show Blue Sky, for now, if nothing else.
I'm going to agree with you on that one, that the Star Wars characters need to go out of Launch Bay, but they need to be put.
Oh no, definitely agree. They need to go. They need to go over to Galaxy's Edge. No, without a doubt.
Let's be honest.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, like put them all in the same place. I think that's what's starting to happen, and we touched on it a little bit. Star Wars is getting a little spread out. They need to get it all into Galaxy's Edge if that's going to be part of that. That park and such a focal point. They should have moved Star Tours. They should have, it should have been done a little bit different than what was actually done in my opinion.
I would have to agree with that. But we were over in the Launch Bay, and it just, to me, it came back as, you know what, this is a great place to get out of the heat and sit down and chill for a long time. Well, that's really prime real estate to be used in that way. So
if they were doing something like the Star Wars nights, or when they had the Jawas wandering around with the stormtroopers wandering around in there back in the day, that was a great experience to go in and enjoy. Mm-hmm. And the sets and the things that are in there. But I think with the space they have in Galaxy's Edge, they could do something similar to that. And have those areas to walk around and do some stuff. So I just think they missed an opportunity with that one. I hope they do make some changes and bring some new experiences to Launch Bay.
Well, we do know they have kind of an open hotel that's now Imagineering offices. That's a space they could use, but that's another topic for another time. Some other new things that were announced, some new deals coming up this summer, a new 3-day, 3-park ticket offer. These are lodging for 3 days, and then 3 one-day, 1-park tickets for the Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. Note that the Magic Kingdom is not included in this special ticket. Also, 50% off kids' tickets from May 27th to September 20th. Free dining is back from June 29th to December 22nd with a 4-day, 4-night, or longer package where available. And this is very limited availability, so that's something you have to jump on quick if you're interested. Up to 30% off rooms is coming up August 1 to October 11th. And interestingly, the water park feature that is currently being offered, where if you have a Disney room reservation or package, you get a free water park entry for the day of check-in. That is going to continue for 2025. And actually, very recently, just today, as we're recording this, Disney announced that not one, but both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will be open all summer. So apparently this new check-in offer, free ticket, is pretty popular, and so they need some more water park space to take advantage of that. A couple other announcements of Summer Magic for kids. New kid zones coming up in the Magic Kingdom at Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland. The ultimate game and party space with Goofy in Communicore Hall over at Epcot. And characters are now making appearances earlier than normal for early Magic entry hours. So as you're coming in to get in early for those early 30-minute opportunities for resort guests, characters will be there ready and waiting for you.
They finally got those characters their cup of coffee.
There you go.
I think we are ready to battle on to the
Yes,
final.
we are. So that was, I was going to say, that was the news. And then, of course, the last bit, Disney Starlight is coming this summer, but we haven't heard anything else yet about that, but know that it's coming.
Oh,
but what's also coming, though,
real quick on that one.
What's that?
If you Google for Starlight, and Google now gives you the AI answer first, AI will tell you that Happily Ever After is going away when Starlight debuts. That is not true. Guys, don't plan your vacations with AI, please.
Yes, don't. Please don't. And we also know that, as we're recording this, it is April Fool's. We have seen some interesting April Fool's posts out there. I think my favorite Disney-related one right now, surprise, surprise, shocker, shocker, Disney is buying Star Trek. No, they're not. It's an April Fool's joke. That one's never going to happen. So, don't believe everything you read on the internet. But you can believe this. There are 4 parks at Walt Disney World, and it's time for us to choose which one is going to be the winner. If you've followed along, we have been counting down our Mousekast Where the Mind Meets the Madness tournament. We started with the round of 32, and we picked 32 attractions. And all the way down to number 1 was Guardians of the Galaxy. Then next, we went to our 16 restaurants, where, Hawk, you want to reveal it? What was our number 1 restaurant for our top 16?
The one that was totally wrong. We did not get to where we needed to be.
That's why I'm having Hawk do this.
That's exactly why. We've got to get to 4 parks. People,
all right, we got to get to 4 parks.
Reference any show that we did. You want to know what it was? Shh, Chuck. They can go back and watch the 16 restaurants get dwindled down.
Go back and check them out.
We did the 8 resorts, and now we are down to the final 4 parks. And next week, we will crown a champion when we debate Disneyland or Disney World. But today,
it's first the 4 parks. And so, Hawk, with that, though, you're going to start us out. It's a battle of kingdoms. The Magic Kingdom versus Animal Kingdom. Here we go. Whoops, I zoomed in too much. Here we go.
Okay. I am gonna buck the grain here 100%, and I would personally take Animal Kingdom over Magic Kingdom all day, every day.
Wow. Okay.
Couple of reasons why. One, ease of getting into the park. As a local, getting to Magic Kingdom is an absolute nightmare. There's no direct way to get there. You're going to TTC, it's planes, trains, and automobiles, and you're running around trying to get things done. It can take you a half hour to 45 minutes just to get into the park. That being said, that's not convenient for locals that only have a few hours to go somewhere. So as a local, being able to park right at Animal Kingdom, drive in, walk up to the gate, be in the park, takes me less than 5 minutes. Once I'm through the gate, it's a lot easier. So, it's, just from a convenience aspect, Animal Kingdom is better for me. When you get into the experience, Jen and I love animals to begin with. We're both dog rescuers. We enjoy the trails. The fact that every time you're in there, you see something different. The animals interact different. Every time you ride the safari, it's different. Every time you walk the Gorilla Falls exploration trail, it's different. Same thing with the Maharaja Jungle Trek. You see different things every time. And I think that's a very stimulating aspect to Animal Kingdom that a lot of the other parks don't have in the same way. You'll always see something you haven't seen before or something different, but even the experiences at Animal Kingdom are just so different every time you do them. And I think that adds a lot of stake to its value as one of the best parks at Disney World. And for me, I'm taking AK.
All right. So right out of the gate, we have a little bit of surprise here. We have one vote for Animal Kingdom. All right, Ty, you are up. Which kingdom are you heading to?
All right, well, let's make it one for Magic Kingdom for me. I'm going with Magic Kingdom. Just it's you got to love the fact that it's the last park that Walt had his hand. And there's just so many classic rides: Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain. There's just so much to do. Yes, I realize that as a 41-year-old, Magic Kingdom is geared towards the kids, but you're only as old as you feel. And for me, Magic Kingdom is where I can feel like a kid again. And just the attractions there. Plus, I'm sorry, Hawk. I'm not much of an animal person, so I'm not really a big fan of zoos or anything like that. So for me, it's one vote for Magic Kingdom.
All righty, we are 1-1. All right, Natalie, here we go. Which kingdom?
Well, unfortunately, I really do enjoy Animal Kingdom because we love animals, but it's a lot of walking, and I mean a lot of walking. And we're not show people, and I feel like there's a lot of shows there, and we can get through the rides rather quickly. So for me, Animal Kingdom is like 4 or 5 hours tops. And after that, I'm ready to go take a nap. So for me, this vote goes to Magic Kingdom because as a parent's perspective and just a, Disney adult, there is truly no other feeling in this world than coming under the train station, turning that corner and walking down Main Street. The sights, the smells, just the ambiance it gives you. I will never forget the first time I ever saw Cinderella's castle with the dream lights. I started bawling my eyes out. I'd always seen it on TV, never got to see it in person. First time I saw it in person, it was just a flood of emotions. And then as a parent, watching your child through their eyes and what they're seeing, Magic Kingdom just gives you all the feels.
Well, I have to give a comment now. Somebody who is joining us right now, the Inside Wrestling Network says, comparing the Magic Kingdom to Animal Kingdom is like comparing the Mona Lisa to a painting of dogs playing poker on black velvet. So something tells me Inside Wrestling Network says, yeah, they're voting for Magic Kingdom. But Megan, what are you saying? Is it the Magic Kingdom or is it Animal Kingdom?
Oh, I love both of these parks for very different reasons. Animal Kingdom is what I consider like my Zen park because it just feels so much less chaotic than any of the other three. It also has the best free souvenir you're ever going to get at Disney, which is the animation drawing that you do when you take the train and go up to Rafiki's Planet Watch. I love going up there drawing characters. I can't draw for anything. It's my favorite thing to do. My 4-year-old son currently wants to grow up and be one of the monkeys in the Lion King show. I'm all for that. But I can't. The castle, it's Disney. I can't pass up Magic Kingdom. Oh man, but I love Animal Kingdom and I hate this matchup because I love these two parks so much. But and Animal Kingdom has the better food too, in my opinion. Animal Kingdom just wins for everything except it's missing a castle. And when it comes right down to it, the magic starts at the castle for me. So I got to go with Magic Kingdom.
You know, Megan, you brought up something in a, I don't know if you said it the way you maybe meant to. You said the Animal Kingdom is missing something. And I think that actually kind of sums it up. Animal Kingdom is missing, frankly, quite a bit. That's not a diss on Animal Kingdom, okay? Animal Kingdom is wonderful. There are way too many people who will say, oh, Animal Kingdom, it's a half-day park. No. Animal Kingdom is not a half-day park. However, what Animal Kingdom is missing is it's missing more of that family opportunity for kids. Kids can enjoy the animals, yes, but that's kind of like, you know, taking them to the zoo and that kind of thing. I don't know that Animal Kingdom has the kids experience in the same way that Magic Kingdom does, where you have a lot that little kids can truly experience and engage with, but then also bigger kids as well. Look at the number of attractions that are in the Magic Kingdom, and it's a long list compared to the number of attractions that are in Disney's Animal Kingdom. The largest park, Animal Kingdom, hands down. I want to say you can fit 2 Magic Kingdoms inside AK, but that's because the safari itself is like one entire Magic Kingdom. That all being said, you know, Animal Kingdom, again, it's a great park. It's a wonderful park, but when people think of Walt Disney World, they aren't thinking of Animal Kingdom. They aren't thinking of Hollywood Studios. They might maybe think of Epcot, possibly, but they're really thinking of the Magic Kingdom. That's what they think of when they think of Walt Disney World. They're thinking of Cinderella's Castle. They are thinking of Haunted Mansion. They are thinking of all the experiences. So for that reason, Magic Kingdom, you are advancing to the next round. All right. Megan, start us off with our other marquee matchup, and that is Disney's Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
The Skyliner parks. Love the Skyliner parks. But this one is my easiest choice of anything we're going to run into on this episode because I'm going with Epcot all the way. And I know I got at least one cast member who's going to jump on me. Oh, I see two shaking their heads at me. Sorry, guys. Epcot is my place. I could spend days at Epcot, and plus Guardians is there, and I can write Guardians like for hours on end. But talk about always having something new to do. Epcot has all these nooks and crannies, whether it's KidCot or these special experiences behind the scenes. You've got every country and all their shopping, all the different dining, easy access to the Skyliner. What I love about Epcot, one of the things I love about Epcot is that you can jump on the Skyliner or even just walk over to the boardwalk area if you need a break from the park itself, and then really easily pop back in. Can you do the same at Magic Kingdom? Yes, but I have a different feeling of going to the monorail resorts. They're just really crowded. We touched a little bit on that on the resorts episode, so again, go back and listen to that one. But I love the ease of Epcot, and just the constant never running out of things to do. My kids, who are currently 3 and 4, have been to Disney 3 times. We spend more time every vacation at Epcot than any of the other 3 parks, any of them. And I've got those little kids that are tailor made for Magic Kingdom, not us. We are Epcot people all the way.
All right, so Hawk was shaking his head. All right, Hawk, let's hear it.
Well, I have to say Megan brings up some great points about Epcot. However, couple of reasons. I like the festivals at times. This is the same reason for me, in all honesty, that I wouldn't have chosen Magic Kingdom. The amount of people that wind up in Epcot, same with Magic, just gets to that uncomfortable, unenjoyable crowd level more frequently than the other 2 parks. And as a local, part of what we're going over to Disney to do is unwind and enjoy the day. We can go over a few hours at a time. So we can wait as locals for the times a year when Magic Kingdom isn't slammed, or in between the festivals when Epcot tends to be more quiet, and go enjoy those parks. So I have a bit of a skewed vision just because of the fact that I am very blessed to be able to go to the parks on a weekly basis. So convenience for us is a huge factor. Crowds is a huge factor. When my daughter and I flew down from Boston to go to the parks, I would have argued when she was young that Magic Kingdom hands down would have won that battle between AK and Magic Kingdom. Now my daughter could, not care less about going to the parks, but she's 17. She's focused on boys and school and going out with friends and doing her own thing. And Disney really isn't the same love that it was. So therefore, my fiance and I go to Disney for ourselves, and we don't drink. We're not huge, crazy foodies. So Epcot really doesn't have the appeal that it does for a lot of people to be able to enjoy the beverage side, the cocktails. We love walking the countries. We love going in and experiencing the shops. We love to be able to get steps in there. But Hollywood Studios is definitely our park. Especially with the addition of Galaxy's Edge and, the stuff that has been added in the past few years, I would have never said Hollywood Studios prior to Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story coming into that park. But with those additions, with the pending addition of Monsters, Inc. and a new coaster, come on, people, come on. It's Hollywood Studios, hands down. That's taking the crown. I already know where you're going, Chuck, because you hype this every week when we're on TV. We know where you're going, so you might as well share yours next and just say,
yeah,
I'm going to argue with Hawk, and I'm saying
I'm going to argue with Hawk, boys. It's Epcot all the way. Epcot all the way.
Now I know why the Hawaiian shirt was on.
Now you know why the Hawaiian shirt was on.
For those of you not watching, good choice. For those of you watching, I'm so sorry that you saw that.
Yeah,
it's Epcot all the way.
Chuck has just streaked the Mousekast staff.
Yes, it just showed my Epcot shirt. All
What's
right,
up, Flash?
all right. So Epcot. Look, okay. Here are the challenges with Hollywood Studio. I grant you, Galaxy's Edge, 2 thumbs, way up, incredible. Go find a bite to eat in Hollywood Studios. It's actually challenging to find something decent in Hollywood Studios. I will admit, Hawk and I were in Hollywood Studios actually just last week, and we did discover something over at Fairfax that was really Fairfax Fair that actually was half decent. That's one thing, folks. Dining at Hollywood Studios, frankly, is challenging to find something decent.
And honestly, I think that's true for the sit-down restaurants, which is a rare thing to say at Disney.
Yeah.
Because most of the sit-down restaurants have very good food. There is not one that Not one that I have been enjoying.
At Hollywood Studios, it is very, very challenging to find decent food at all compared to Epcot, which is the King Kamehameha of dining. Every great restaurant that there is, just about inside the theme parks, are at Epcot. You know, very rarely do you come across a decent theme park table service restaurant that's not at Epcot. I mean, the dining at Epcot is fantastic. Again, Via Napoli, I'm thinking of you. Best pizza out there, period, hands down. Rose and Crown, we also love you a lot. So then on top of that, oh, by the way, hold my beer, all puns intended. Let's also have all of the festivals that are there. Right now, Flower and Garden. Coming up over in the fall, we're going to have Food and Wine. Then we have Festival of the Arts. We have all of the music, live music that takes place where? Not at Hollywood Studios. It's over now at Epcot. Streetmosphere, yeah, Hollywood Studios, it's been gone. There's no Streetmospheres anymore at Hollywood Studios. So I grant you that Galaxy's Edge is phenomenal, but one land a park does not make: Epcot. All right, Natalie, what do you got?
Well, that's really hard to follow up on. So this one's actually kind of tough on me because they both have such good reasons to outbeat the next, as you guys have mentioned already. Like, I enjoy Hollywood Studios, but for me, I always find it so busy. It's a hustle and bustle. Like it's one thing after another. You're jumping from one side of the park to the other side of the park. And I mean, me and my daughter are very excited for the Monsters Inc. edition. It's definitely going to pull us to go to Hollywood Studios way more. But if I'm only in Disney for 1 or 2 days, I'm always going to be at Epcot. I love Epcot. I mean, one of the biggest things for me for Epcot, which is very, very random, is where I get to see Mickey Mouse in his classic tuxedo outfit.
Yes.
Minnie is in her red and white polka dot dress. Like, it is the classic outfit. I have to go every single time. I mean, I made a special trip in 24 just to go see Figment and Mickey and Minnie in their 90th outfits. I mean, there was another reason behind the trip, but I made sure that I bought a 2-day ticket just so I could spend the entire day at Epcot, all by myself, enjoying Food and Wine Festival. I can go to Epcot by myself and be so happy. I can't do that at all 4 parks. So really? For me, it's definitely it's Epcot.
I'm gonna pause the little chat here because I'm kind of surprised by that, to honestly hear that. You wouldn't have as much fun alone at other parks.
Yeah,
because I could go to any of them and
I have the most fun at Magic Kingdom and Epcot by myself. If I am,
you know what, I can actually see where Natalie's going with this, because you got to remember. So this is you're doing a solo trip, but you're an adult now. And so doing an adult trip, it's a little bit different than necessarily, oh, we got to get to every single roller coaster there is and all that kind of stuff. This gives you more adult-like experiences, but also they're a little more intellectual to some degree. And you get that chance that it's, when you are at Hollywood or at MK, and even AK to maybe some degree, there's run and gun. At Epcot, I have the ability, I can unwind a little bit. You hang out, you do a little Spaceship Earth, and just enjoy. Priscilla says that she agrees with Natalie. She could spend a day by herself at Epcot. And I agree. I mean, Epcot is our jam.
Guardians of the Galaxy all day long.
Our number one theme park, our number one attraction.
Don't get me wrong. I can understand spending a day alone at Epcot. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I'm saying I could also do it at any of the parks. Like,
Well,
and
Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite. But Natalie's not a show person. I do think Animal Kingdom can be hard if you're not a show person.
Yes.
Alrighty, so Ty, close us out here. Hollywood or Epcot?
I think y'all know where I'm going. So I'm going to go with Hollywood. Hollywood.
All right, tell me why.
All the way. You will enjoy Hollywood Studios. But number one for me, very well documented. My favorite ride, Tower of Terror, is at Hollywood Studios. Now it's very well documented how big of a Star Wars fan I am. Hollywood Studios. And to y'all's argument that there's no good food, I'm sorry, but sci-fi dining is actually very good food to me. I think it's really good food.
That new menu looks real good.
It's worth giving it. I haven't tried the new menu just yet, but you know.
So, but yeah.
Hawk, don't hold your feelings back there, buddy.
Oh, okay. So, but plus, you got Monsters Inc. coming. You got Toy Story, my two of my favorite Pixar movies. So all day is Hollywood. Plus, Rock and Roller Coasters, one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden. So,
well, I will tell you this: that when Monsters Inc. does get done, probably in a little over a year, I guess it'll probably take. I think it will be a game changer, and when that happens, and we really see what all has come in. It'd be interesting to revisit this matchup and see if maybe that changes things. But for now, Epcot, you are moving on. So, whoops, you are moving. There we go. Good old Photoshop. So now that brings us to our finale. So Ty, start us out. It's the two first parks of Walt Disney World. We have the Magic Kingdom, and we have Epcot.
Magic Kingdom all the way.
All right, why is that?
Well, for one, I don't drink, so the drinking part of Epcot does not appeal to me whatsoever. I'm not a really big festival person, so that doesn't really appeal to me neither. Plus, if I can't ride Tower of Terror, I'm going to ride Haunted Mansion, and that's a Magic Kingdom, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise. So upcoming Cars Land, Villains Land. So Magic Kingdom all the way for me.
All righty. Natalie.
This is tough because these are my two parks. This is where you'll always find me for a majority of my trips. But, oh gosh. If I only had one day, I'm going to look at it that way. If I'm going to only have one day in the parks, I would choose Magic Kingdom because there's no other feeling in the world like walking down Main Street towards the castle. There's something beyond magical about Happily Ever After and the fireworks. So it's you get to meet all the characters, your princesses, and then you have all of the classic rides. Like I could spend half of my day just riding Pirates of the Caribbean. No other smell like there is pirate water.
Yeah, I have to admit it is an interesting and unique fragrance. So Megan.
Okay, well, I had one day at Disney last year, and I picked Epcot. But I came at this from a slightly different perspective of if I had one day and that was it. Like I was never allowed to go back to Disney. They were kicking me out and I could only, hit one park. I've got to go see the castle. And I love Epcot. It was my birthday trip last year. I spent my 40th there. I loved it. But if I could only go to one park for one day ever again, it'd be Magic Kingdom. I can't pass up the castle. Can't pass up the nostalgia of all my trips. Some of the biggest memories that I have are inside that park. Yeah, can't pass it up. It's got to be Magic Kingdom.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We'll let Hawk kind of close us out. You can see the shirt. I'm wearing an Epcot shirt, and I am actually choosing Epcot over the Magic Kingdom. Epcot is our park, and I'll do it this way. I'll tell a little story. So I first went to Walt Disney World in 76 or so, and then did not go back until 1983, and was able to experience both the Magic Kingdom and Epcot in 1983, but vaguely remember it. I was actually, somewhat young back then. No comment, Hawk. But we didn't go back until 2007, and it was bringing my family, and it was all because of Star Wars Weekends, which, by the way, was over at Disney Hollywood Studios. I missed Star Wars Weekends. But we had been at Hollywood Studios. It was hot, everything like that. So we took a friendship boat over to Epcot in the International Gateway, and then came down along beside the UK Pavilion and then past Canada. You really can't see Spaceship Earth from that side at all of Epcot. If you go across the France Bridge, you start to see it, but if you stay on the side by UK. So we're turning the corner around to the center line of the park, and the trees clear, and there is Spaceship Earth. And I just stopped, and I just gawked. And it truly was as if I had met an old, long-lost friend that I had not seen in decades. And it was that moment, right then and there, that Epcot was and is my second home. I can't tell you any better than that. It is, we are so comfortable at Epcot. Anytime I'm coming to Walt Disney World, I am going to Epcot if I'm choosing one park. And it's because of everything that Epcot embodies. From, you have all of the pieces over at the land, over at the seas, of course, Spaceship Earth, and all the incredible story of communication. I'm a communicator, and so it rings very, very near and dear to me. But then also everything with World Showcase that offers. And at the time, Epcot had hands down the best nighttime performance and illuminations. I think Luminous is not bad. It's certainly better than Harmonious was. So, and I think it's going to continue to get a little bit improved. But for all of that, and also for the fact of the connectivity to all the Epcot area resorts, Epcot is my park. Hawk, close us out.
Ooh, so you bring up some good points about Epcot, and Jen and I definitely do enjoy Epcot at times. Whenever it seems we're meeting friends in town, we always seem to have to catch up with them at Epcot. So we wind up there more often than other parks because we meet our friends there. And then, we would choose other parks had we been left to our own device. And the festivals bring some great food options. The entertainment you spoke of is pretty impressive. We love the art festival and going around and talking and meeting some of the artists and doing stuff. Epcot does have a lot to offer in this context. You already eliminated my two favorite parks, so I'm already I'm fits of depression right now. This is just a really tough one for me. I think to go back to what Megan touched on a little bit, and even Natalie, and to go back to what does Disney represent? Like, how is Disney represented to the bulk of people? What do people think of when they think of Disney World? And of course, everybody reverts back to the castle. And I'll go back to, I went there as a 2-year-old in 1974 and got to enjoy the park with my grandmother and my mom and my great-grandmother at the time. And, we got to experience things there. And then we went back in 86, much along the same timeline as you, Chuck, just a few years different. My family took the one trip that I remember as a child for the one big vacation we took, and we went to Disney World. And we also did SeaWorld, and we, spent a week in there in the area. And we stayed at the Polynesian. And, I remember staying there. I remember this was when you could rent the little boats and drive around the lake. And I remember jumping the ferry boat wake with the boat, thinking I was the king of the world. And, it was a blast. And I have great memories there. And when I had the opportunity to take my daughter to Disney for the first time in 2012, to walk into the park and see her face when she saw the castle, and then at that particular day, the Move It, Shake It parade was going on and came around the hub, and they all stop and they get out, and all the characters started dancing, and Donald Duck and my daughter were there dancing on the street. I was literally, almost on the verge of tears watching the joy that she had. And I would have to, in this particular position, be forced to take Magic Kingdom for the nostalgia, for the originality, for the core of what Walt represented. Walt's hand was a big part of what Magic Kingdom became. And I really think for the Disney purist, there was no other answer going into this show but Magic Kingdom winning the top 4. I just don't think there was any other way.
Yeah, I kind of knew that I had an uphill battle here, cheering on Epcot. Inside Wrestling Network says, I went to Disney World for the first time at 18 and I chose Epcot. I was blown away. It was an educational theme park and I loved it. The next year I went to the Magic Kingdom and it was life-changing. From that moment on, it has always been the Magic Kingdom. The Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Carousel of Progress, even the Hall of Presidents. It is Disney. And to be honest, thank you, Inside Wrestling Network. That might really sum it all up. It really is Disney. I mean, I love Epcot, don't get me wrong, but I'm also not crazy. The Magic Kingdom truly is Disney.
Debatable.
Well,
debatable.
So, which debatable? I know what you're talking about over there.
Crazy part.
Crazy.
I know what he's talking about.
I will say we did not mention my favorite festival at Epcot, which is the Holiday Festival, where you got the different
you have the holidays.
characters and all the different characters, the
Storytellers,
holidays
yep.
happening, all over from the different countries. My favorite time to go to Epcot is the holidays. Absolutely,
it is, but I will also argue that's also one of the best times to go to the Magic Kingdom too, because the holidays at the Magic Kingdom, folks. If you
same with Hollywood Studios.
All of it. If you've never done Christmas at Disney and you think that your community or whatever does something, come on down and see what. That's how you do Christmas. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and
we've had back shows on this, so go back and listen to some of our back episodes about Christmas at Disney. So
and Chuck, I think. And I can kind of see that too. The comment, Epcot has festivals, but as a non-drinker, I'd rather do Halloween at MK. We're a little more hardcore with Halloween. We'd rather do Horror Nights at Universal. However, Halloween at MK is amazing. And when my daughter was younger, while she still was a little fearful of what became an obsession for her at Universal, Disney was a favorite for her. She loved the Boo to You parade, being able to sing along, enjoy the characters, and do everything, and get 50 pounds of candy for a mere $179 entrance fee. It was incredibly
what a bargain.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you saw candy prices last year, it very well may be a bargain.
Yeah, no kidding.
But in reality, we can make the argument for any one of these 4 parks to be.
We actually can, and that's an important point.
And that was the fun of debating this. But as a Disney purist, which we all are, we knew Magic Kingdom was going to come out in the end because it has to. It is the pioneering park that Walt designed, that was replicated in Florida as a second version of the original. And it's got the bigger castle. It wins. At
least the biggest castle in the United States. Then there's Shanghai, which got really big.
Yeah, no, true story. But it does have, to Ty's point, it has Walt's hands on it. And That's something as a Disney purist we knew was going to head in that direction. Every park at Disney World has incredible individual aspects that make it a top-notch, undebatable top-notch theme park. Disney does things in ways that other parks don't. And one of the things that's so intriguing right now in the Orlando area is Epic is getting rave reviews. And people are talking about how it's literally going to change the face of theme parks across the world. So it is going to be very interesting to see how much difference Disney's new projects bring to all these parks, because take them one by one. Animal Kingdom, the little market and Dinosaur Land and everything is gone. It's weird to walk by and see the walls and not see the dinosaurs, not see the rides there. It's weird. But when you think about what's coming, how great could it potentially be? What amazement do Disney Imagineers bring to Animal Kingdom in that next iteration of change? What happens with Magic Kingdom? Villains Land, as we've discussed, could be the greatest thing to come to Disney in our lifetime. Like, if they do this right, this could rival what Epic brings to the table with Dark Universe and things like that.
Bold, all caps, if they do it right.
Yeah,
no, correct, 100%.
100% of it, because you look at what Villains Land could potentially bring. Much as Dark Universe is going to be amazing, but let's look at the relativity of Dark Universe for just a second here. You're having very, very classic monsters, but here's the catch: they're really, really classic monsters, which means old guys like Hawk and I, we get them, but some of the younger kids don't really get.
But see, I think the kids are really enjoying learning to get it.
Well, maybe.
But
who do they know? They know Disney villains, though. Yeah, they know Disney villains. So if they do this right, and again, I think if ever there was, you've heard the phrase, "There's a lot riding on this." For Villains Land, I truly think that's like critically the case. There's a lot riding on it.
No, 100%. That is the one that they have no choice but to get right. And here's one of the interesting things. If you looked back, and I love that we're kind of talking about this, because this is a good addition to the discussion we had to debate the 4 parks at Disney World. Because if you look at the, concept art that was presented by Disney, usually by the time you get to fruition of the product, it's different. It's not what was presented in the artwork. Epic did something that's been unheard of. You look at their mock-ups of what the lands were going to be, and then look at what was built. It is literally almost identical. Their mock-up art was on point, and it was the first thing that everyone commented about. The concerns I have that Disney's very good at, that I'm a little worried about with Epic, is all these lands have been designed with one way in and one way out. You literally have to portal your way into each land. So rounding your way around the park is going to result in you having to retrace steps pretty regularly when you're already walking a lot in theme parks. That may wind up being a disservice to Universal at some point, and they may alter the way that those celestial portals operate. I would not be surprised to see them eventually integrate at other points to ease up on that. I'm anxious to see how that goes. That's one of the potential design flaws I see at Epic.
Well, the other piece is that because we haven't seen truly everything yet, and we don't have, to my knowledge, we have not seen a layout of the lands yet, like actual, like a park map, as it were. Is there
on the app?
Is it on the app now? Is there interconnectivity between the lands at all?
What's that?
Is there interconnectivity between each portal area, essentially like a back entrance, or do they only have to go in and out of the portal?
There's one way in, one way out.
Ooh, yeah, that could be a challenge. I didn't think the app had that level of detail yet.
Yep, it's all. And if you go to the preview store where they have the Epic preview, you can see the park in functional 3D model.
And okay,
So you can see everything, but it's just a concern. I mean, I'm super excited for it. I probably won't go there for a year because we're not going to fight the crowds for it. I'm not going to wait 12 hours for a Ministry of Magic ride. I'll wait. But the most reviewed ride right now that gets the best reviews is in Dark Universe, and it's the dark ride that's in it. And Stardust Racers is probably the second most reviewed for being what some people are saying the best roller coaster in Central Florida. And if that overtakes Velocicoaster, I'm gonna cry. So I'm hoping it does, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't.
And another bit of news, by the way, that was announced very recently, that Universal Express Pass is going to be available at Epic Universe. I'm kind of surprised about it. I didn't think they would do Universal Express.
It's not unlimited.
No, not unlimited. It's the one-time only ones.
One-time only.
But I'm even surprised that they're doing that this early.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised that they're doing that this early.
From what I understand, it's already sold out for May and June. It's limited sales. It is for one day.
Not available for opening day.
You can get you can get it with the 3 parks, so you can bundle it with Express Pass for the other 2 also.
Yes.
Right, but the key caveat for that is it is one-time uses at Epic. And for those wondering, if you stay in deluxe hotels and expect to get Express Pass, that will not happen for Epic. You will still get Express Pass at your premier resorts at Universal and Islands of Adventure. But when you go over for your one day at Epic, you would have to buy Express Pass single day independently in order to use that. And they do have VIP tours out now too.
They do have VIP tours as well, which again, I'm a little bit, I'm less surprised about the VIP tours than I am about opening up Express Pass so early on. I was expecting them to kind of pump the brakes on Express Pass for maybe the first couple of months, because there's going to be such heavy park attendance anyway, and so I thought they would kind of let the standby line shake out first.
I do wonder, because we don't know how many tickets are being allowed to be sold for dated activities.
Very, very good point.
And I'm sure there are limits being put into place to ensure that there is not so many people that the experience becomes miserable and people just bail on it. So, even with previews, the way they've done it has been very interesting to see, allowing cast members and team members over there multiple opportunity to go back to the park and check it out. I've talked to people that have been there 7-8 times already. So, it's interesting to see. And the team members really do seem to be praising the way everything has been done and handled. There are obviously hiccups. There are things that are coming on, but they've already made some changes to entertainment out in Celestial Park and have pulled back on some of the plans for entertainment out in the common area of the park because people are staying in the land so much to experience it. So it'll be interesting to see the changes that happen, as they're already making changes prior to opening that are making some reductions. So
it will be interesting. And in fact, the other thing that we'll probably make a note here, because I noticed Universal is starting to change some of their marketing language, that they're now saying the 4 parks of Universal and really calling Volcano Bay its own park, justifiably so. Don't get me wrong, justifiably so. So that this time next year we may be doing 2 Final Fours and a whole second show on the Final Four of Universal.
So if we're going to throw water parks into the mix, Disney does have 6. And
I get you.
You can make the argument SeaWorld has 3 or 4, depending on how you want to say it, because
Yeah,
Busch
that's-
Garden partners with SeaWorld. So you
Well, and that may be it. That may be what we also do, another countdown show, because folks seem to like this, of doing just water parks. And we just do the entire Orlando area water parks and put them all together. So that will be another countdown. But folks, all of this that we have done from 32 to 16 to 8 to 4 has all just been a preview show. Coming up next week, we go head to head. The ultimate Disney battle. Am I selling this strongly enough? It is the ultimate battle. It is Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, coming up on April the 8th, next Tuesday, live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Mousekast. You do not want to miss it.
And we promise Chuck will not be flashing.
I had, come on now, behave yourself. I had to show support from Epcot. Yeah, Tom. I know Tom Brewer, who's the Inside Wrestling Network here. He's going to give me a bunch of grief about this later on. I know he is. So, hey, we want to say a huge thank you to Ty and to Natalie for joining us as guest hosts tonight as we went down the final 4, our 4 parks of Walt Disney World. And to no one's great surprise, the Magic Kingdom, you are the number 1 park according to the mad minds here at Mousekast.
Before we go, round robin, real quick. Megan, you go first. Off the cuff, what is your favorite park to go to at Disney? Without Epcot? Okay. Ty?
Hollywood Studios.
Nat?
Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Chuck, we know Epcot. Mine would still be Animal Kingdom. So it goes to speak to the fact, and I just want to point this out, that's all 4 parks between 5 people.
And none of us would ever skip a park either.
No, of course
Yeah.
If
No.
like, none of us are 3 park people either.
No, but I understand that, but it just goes to the point when you ask someone where you would go personally, the opinions differ all the time. So keep in mind, as you travel to these parks with your family, go out of your way to try to enjoy it at every level, even if it's not your favorite park, to let someone else that may feel it is in your group get the enjoyment out of that park and really learn to experience parks. I didn't love Animal Kingdom starting out. It took me years to learn to love Animal Kingdom.
I would agree. It's an acquired taste.
And you know, now I really enjoy it. We sat and watched the new Baby Tiger for almost an hour the other day and just stood and watched what went on. There's so much when you start to get into the idiosyncrasies of what's available in these parks, and you can find new things and learn and discover different things, makes a huge difference. So take the time to let your family enjoy it, and you yourself will find enjoyment even more fulfilling in parks you may not have otherwise enjoyed as much.
Yeah,
See,
and I'll echo that. Take the
another
time,
set of
slow down, look around, and find all those great Disney details. That'll be another show that we'll talk about in the future, of just some of the amazing Disney details and all the enjoyment that you can get out of these parks and not do one attraction. You can really do an entire day in the parks, enjoying and taking in all the little subtle details, and never do one single attraction. Hey, if you have been watching or listening, share out that you've been enjoying Mousekast, either on our Facebook page over at facebook.com/mousecastpodcast, or over on YouTube at youtube.com/mousecast, or search Mousekast on YouTube. I want to say a huge thank you to Ty, to Natalie, Megan, Hawk, for joining me and for joining us as we counted down our final 4 for the Magic Kingdom. And again, don't forget to join us next Tuesday night when we go head-to-head, East Coast versus West Coast, Disney World versus Disneyland. This is Mousekast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. And so until next time, we'll see you.
Mousekast Podcast thanks you for listening to our show. When you let the mind meet the magic, it's where the deep thoughts flow. This is where the mind meets the magic. We dive a little deeper every time. Deep thoughts, crucial. time.